Good evening, parents, grandparents, and guardians. My name is Ed Santapadre, and I'm the Associate Superintendent for the Vacaville Unified School District. I'd like to welcome you tonight to our training module for parents and guardians of our students. You know, this is really a difficult time for all, and we're embarking on a new journey together. And this will work best if we all work together on it, and we all work in the support of our students. I know this is a great community, and I know we can work together to make sure that learning really occurs during this virtual learning component of the school year. Um, you know, we heard loud and clear from parents that they wanted to be involved, and you just recently took a great survey that talked about some of the skills you wanted to have right away. And with your busy schedules, you were really clear you want the basics right now. So this module that you're going to take a look at tonight has the real basics: your Chromebook login, how to log on to School Loop, Clever, parent portal, the real basics of how you can get on to make sure you know what your student needs to do and you can support your student. And that's great. In the future, we'll have other modules. We'd love your feedback to see what other things you want us to help with. And I know that if we are patient with each other, patient with ourselves, and certainly patient with our students, and we're persistent with all three of those, we can get this done. We'll have a great start to the school year. Before we know it, we'll be back in person doing what we do best. Thanks, and enjoy the training.
Hello, Vacaville families. We are the digital education coordinators here at Vacaville Unified. My name is Don Marsh.
My name is Aaron Kelly Stevens.
And I'm Andrew Highland, and we're going to share some videos today to help our families get ready for virtual learning for the school year. The next video is about Aeries Parent Portal and how to log on to that and what happens if you forgot your password. I'm going to type in my students' elementary school here. So Hemlock Elementary, or it's already up here, Hemlock Vacaville USD. We'll bring up some results. There's Hemlock Elementary, or whichever elementary you've got. And then there's the Parent Portal button, or sometimes on other school websites it'll be along the quick links, along the sidebar on the left or the right, and then once in a while you'll find it at the bottom of your website. So Parent Portal, and now I can put in my email. This is the one you registered with when you set up your account, and if you forgot password, you can click that forgot password link right there. It'll send you a reset dialog and email. All right, so it looks like I forgot my password too. So I'm going to click forgot password right here, and it's going to give me a little dialog, and I can enter my email. This will be my personal email where I can pick up the password reset. And it's telling me it's coming from this, the email is going to come from this VUSD-portal at vacavilleusd.org email address, so I know to look for it. Okay, the verification email has been sent, and it's going to give me a code in that email that I can put in here and go to my next screen. Okay, so it asked me, after I put in the code and my email again, it asked me to reset a new password. I had to type my new password twice, and now I'm returning to login page, and I'm going to log in one more time with my new reset password. There we go. After it loads up, and see I've got an option to change students on here if I have more than one student, and then I've got a dashboard and student information. Underneath student information is profile, and then the next one down is demographics. That's where I'm going to go to find my student's email address. So a little bit of the screen is going to be blurred out for student information, but I'm going to try and leave as much as I can of where these items are. So I've got down here in the kind of middle right is the student contact information. student's email address and their email right there that starts out S dash. Usually it's a S dash 723 something something. And that full long thing is the student's email address that you can use for their Google account, their Vacaville Google account. And some of their other accounts as well. Hope that helped.
And I want to show how to log onto a Chromebook. This is a little different view. Your Chromebook will have many of the same steps, almost all, and will just look slightly different. So, or if you're on your home device, you'll get this front step that is to add a person when you start up Chrome. And so I'm just going to put my name and hit add. And then since I'm on my desktop device, I'm going to sign in right here. I'm already a Chrome user. I want to sign in. This is where I will need my student's email address, the full S-723 number at vacavilleusd.org. And this is a similar screen to what the Chromebook will look like. It will ask for your that email address, S-723, that you can get from Aeries Parent Portal or from your teacher or from your school when you pick up supplies. And make sure that's all typed in correctly. Next step. And the next step is asking for the password. So I'll type in the password that I got from my school or from my teacher or from Aeries Parent Portal. It's going to be the 10-digit birth date with leading zero. So like January 1st would be 01/01/2008. Once that loads in, it asks, would you like to link your data? And I always click yes, link data. And for a student account, most of the time, the first tab that should pop up is the Clever Portal login, and sometimes that takes a little while to load before you see it first. And I know I'm signed in on my account, on my school account, because I can see this vacavilleusd.org bookmarks folder that also has a link to the Clever Portal if it didn't pop up first thing. So I click right on that. It'll take me back to Clever Portal, where I'm going to log in with Google, or kindergarten through second grade can use the badges that your school also will have for the younger students. And when I click login with Google, it's going to ask, sometimes it'll ask again for a password. The second or third time you do it, it will usually stop asking. But just in case, we'll get our password out. After a little bit of loading, now my Clever Portal is there, and I can see my teacher page. I can see all of my favorite apps, and I can scroll down and see more of the apps for virtual learning.
Hello, this is Aaron again. The next video is going to show you how to manage more than one account on a Chrome browser, so that if you have multiple students, you can have them on the same device and still not mixing up each other's information. Here I am, logged into my Chrome browser with my district account. I can see two little icons here, whether I'm in a standard Google page, my Google Drive, note the VUSD that tells me it's my district account, or my Google Classroom. Still have both of them there. In any of those three areas, you can manage multiple accounts. The bottom one, which is the one we don't want to use, will only log somebody into the Chrome browser itself. It's still going to be under the primary user's sync and have the primary user's bookmarks and going to default to that primary user. So we're going to stay away from logging extra people in here, and instead we're going to log them in to a new browser session. So if we log into the top one, it's going to be a completely new browser session, which is going to pull over all the bookmarks and all the passwords, everything for the new account that we add. So once again, we do not want the bottom management. We want the top management. So we're going to choose that top management. We're going to go down to add. It really doesn't matter which of these icons you choose. If you like one, go for it, but it's going to change if your student has an icon chosen for the district anyway. So I'm putting in my test student. So here you just put in their name. This isn't an area for the username. It's just for whatever name you want to call this profile. Now, where it says make Chrome your own, we have get started or already a Chrome user. I am already a Chrome user. I'm logging in with a district account. Here is where you would put your S- number followed by @vacavilleusd.org for yourself, or if you're a parent, for your student. My test student has a different email address, but still requires the @vacavilleusd.org. That tells Google that this isn't a Gmail account. This is an account that goes with the Vacaville Unified School District. So you have to have the @vacavilleusd.org. So once again, yours would have S- whatever the S- number is, @vacavilleusd.org, and then you click on next. Put in your password. Passwords are always ... Okay, you're going to get pop-up. That pop-up asks if you want to link the data. Yes, you do. So click Link Data. This is what pulls over all the information from the school district. And then it says Turn on Sync, ? Yes, you want to turn on the sync. You'll notice that the icon I had chosen went away, and it's filled in with the icon for my school district. This is the little hot dog I use to represent my test student, so I know I'm logged in as my test student. Notice instead of 3 little dots, I've got an exclamation point here. That's probably because I've got extensions in the Google browser that I need to enable for this computer. So I'm going to click on that, choose the top, and say Enable Extension. Could be something they use in a classroom. Any nefarious extensions are blocked by the school district, so it's not going to be something bad and attack your computer. Okay, so now notice I'm in a completely different window here. So I've got one session here and another session here. Everything in this session is my student. So if I go to Google Classroom, it's no longer me, Aaron Stevens, the district employee. It's now my test students. So these are the classes my test student is in. If I go to the Google Drive, it's going to be my test student's Google Drive. So everything here is the test students. And we can see in the drive here, we got the VUSD, so we know we're in with the district account. Okay, I'm going to close down this window. In order to get the profile off from there, you have to go to the main user, down to the gear, and there will be 3 little dots. I can click there and I can remove this person. I'm not going to remove this person, but that's how you would remove a profile from up here. Let's go ahead and log in and look at the difference between logging into the main browser and just logging into this session. So same thing, we go to add another user. I've already signed in once with my test student, so I choose the test student. I have to put in the password. If I hadn't already logged in, I would have to put in the whole thing again. And now I'm in here as the test student in Google, but let's try to go to my Google Classroom. Notice it didn't go to the test students. It defaulted to the person who owns the browser. This is where a lot of frustration happens for people because they're trying to log into Google and utilize the Google Classroom, but it's the main user that's driving things, not the person who's currently logged into Google. So it's much better to log in to a whole new session up here. Now let's say we want to get rid of the test student from the main session of the browser. It's not as easy as just clicking on it and deleting it. You have to sign out of all accounts. I can click sign in again. I'm not going to choose my test student. I'm going to choose my main account. Okay, now I'm signed back in. Once again, I'm not going to the top one. I'm going to the bottom one here. I'm going to choose there, and notice it says signed out. If I click on it, now I have the option to remove, but I had to sign out first. So I'm going to remove it. Now the only user in this session is me. Once again, if we want to use multiple accounts, we don't want to log in the second one. We want to log them into the top one. So if I click on the test student, it's going to open a whole new window. So we've got two sessions running at the same time. This one is the student session. And if I go to Google Classroom here, it's going to go straight into the students. It's not going to try to go into mine because I'm not logged into the session. Hopefully that will clear things up. You can add in multiple students in there. So you could have 3 or 4 students when you click on the top one, not the bottom one. Click on the top one. You can have 3 or 4 different students there, and you can switch between profiles. Every time you choose one, you know you're doing the right thing because it's going to open up a new window. Everything in that window is that student's. And that should alleviate any problem with having multiple accounts on your Chrome browser. Once again, this works the same for both a Mac and a PC. I will stress again at the end here, you want to log in with the top account login, not the bottom account login.
Hi, this is Dawn again, and this next video is going to show you how to get to the Clever portal and log in. The Clever portal is our place where students can access all of their important applications in VUSD. Students can get to the Clever portal in a couple of different ways. Hop onto your school site's homepage. There should be a quick links section. It varies per school site. And you'll see a link that goes to Clever portal. That will take them directly to the Clever portal right here. Students may also directly go to the Clever portal by entering the URL address you see on the screen now. Our students can log in to the Clever portal in one of 2 ways here from the login screen. The most common way is to use the Login with Google option. Once they click that, they will enter in their district Google email address and password. I will show you that in just a moment. Over here, some of our younger students have something called a Clever badge. It looks very much like a QR code. In order to log in that way, you can just simply click on this icon right here. You do need to be using a device that has a webcam in order to use the Clever badge login. A webcam will open up. Your student can hold up their badge to the webcam, and they will get instant access into their portal. But right now, I'm going to show you how to log in using the Login with Google button. They will sign in using their district Google account. I have a sample up here. It's not actually a real one. However, they all start with an S dash, and then their student permanent ID. You should have gotten that from your teacher. They most often start with the numbers 7237 at VacavilleUSD.org. Then they will click Next to enter their password. Your student will now enter their district password here. This eyeball icon right here is often very handy to use. It will let your password that you're entering be seen so you can make sure that you haven't made any errors. I'm going to go ahead and enter the student's password right now. And we will click Next. All right, here we are at the portal. This is what it looks like. If we scroll down, we see many icons that will appear. All of the icons that appear on your student's portal are specific to them at their school and at their grade level. There's a quick links resources over here to the side that you can jump to certain areas if you want to quickly, right here. Take you to language arts, other resources, up to the top, favorited resources. All right, this is a very handy little function right here. If there are certain applications that your student uses all the time, all they have to do to put them up to the top each time is hover over them, click the heart, and those icons will now live up here at the top as well as down where they belong in the portal. Each of your students will have a teacher page. This is a place where your teachers have added specific applications and links and documents that they want for just their students to access. So please click on that and you will get to see some specific instructions from your student's teacher. All right, parents and families, I hope that this information has been helpful to you. This next video is going to show you how to access the student view of Google Classroom, how to find your assignments, how to open them, how to turn them in, and make any needed attachments. So first of all, the easiest way to get to Google Classroom is simply by clicking on the Google Classroom icon in Clever, or alternatively, you can simply type in the URL address classroom.google.com, and then it will prompt you to log in with your district account. So you may see multiple class cards, as I do here. Each of these usually represents maybe a different teacher or perhaps a different subject area. These are all separate Google Classrooms. I'm going to go ahead and click on this one for purposes of this video. This is a sample account that I've created and posted assignments in. So this is the stream. Notice up here we have three main tabs: Stream, Classwork, and People. Stream is just simply a place that announces that work has been posted or assignments have been posted or material, announcements, whatnot. Upcoming, it says right now, nothing due soon. Usually it's within a couple days it will do that. If you want to view all, click on it and it will give you a nice little summary of the work that you have. So for instance, you can see that this one is due. You can see that it does have an attachment. It's been assigned. This one has been assigned no due date. This one is missing, so it's past overdue. This one has been turned in. This one has been turned in and returned to the student with a grade. And you can also notice here that there are some comments that have been left for the student here. And again, we have another missing assignment here. If you'd like, you can also just simply use one of these filters here. If you want to see which of your assignments are missing, you just click that and it'll filter it down for you that way. All right, let's go back to our class here. And we're going to go over to the Classwork tab now. This is the one that most people do most of their work in. So I'm going to look right here and I see that I have a new assignment right here, the weekly review. Notice that there are topics here, but we have assignments underneath. Teachers will often organize their Google Classrooms using topics to make it a little easier for students to locate certain assignments. You can filter by topics over here as well, just as in the previous screen. So if I want to just see all my classwork, my weekly schedule, you can filter this way over here, or go back to all topics. So for right now, I'm going to go ahead and I know this is a new assignment here. And there are a couple of ways that you can open this assignment to see what it is you need to do. If you want to view the assignment, you can do that. You get more details when you do it this way. The other way is to alternatively just simply click on this and it opens up the attached document. The teacher will often provide some directions or instructions for you right here that you can read. Let's go ahead and use View Assignment this way. Again, you'll see the teacher instructions here. You can open up the attached document right here, or you can also add or create something right here. So for instance, you can add something from your Google Drive, add a link, or add a file. You may also simply create something new right from here, docs, slides, sheets, or drawing. There will be times that your teacher may not provide an attached document template for you here. Rather, they might state, please create a Google Doc or a Google slide. If those are your directions, this is where you would create it. But right now, there's a turn-in button here. I'm not going to use that one just yet, but I haven't done anything. And I want to use, when there's an attachment here provided, you can simply turn it in using the attachment here. If you need to add or create something here, this is a great way to turn it in. But let's go ahead and click on the attachment since that's been provided to me. All right, so you can see here that this was, I'm to summarize my weekly work below. So I could simply go ahead and type in here that I completed my math lessons 1 through 3. And you would complete each of these down here below. Once you have it completed, you'll notice that up here there is a turn in button. So you're going to simply go ahead and turn it in. It will ask you for a confirmation. There you go. It says, it gives you another chance. Do you want to turn it in? Yes, turn it in. All right. Now, once we've turned it in, let's say that you've turned it in and you realize now that you wanted to change something or add something to it. An important thing to note is that once you've turned an assignment in, you no longer have editing rights to that document. It is now belongs to the teacher, and only the teacher can edit and make changes. But if you need to take it back and you need to make some of the changes as a student, you can unsubmit it so that you gain editing rights once again. So I'll go ahead and click unsubmit. It says unsubmit to add or change attachments. Don't forget to resubmit once you're done. So let me go ahead and unsubmit it. There we go. Now it belongs to me again, and you notice that the status has now again changed to assigned rather than turned in. So now I can open up the document once again, and I can complete my Tuesday assignments here. I did all my science work. Okay. And now we're going to turn it in again. So it's going to be submitted. Yes, turn it in. And there we go. It is now turned in yet again. Now, just so that you know, you can unsubmit and resubmit multiple times. You can also unsubmit even after the due date has expired. Please note, though, that your teacher does receive a review of how many times the student has submitted or unsubmitted, including the day and time that each submission or unsubmission was completed. So the teacher, it's very handy. There's always a little place for the teacher to take a look at that. Let's go back to Ms. Cooper here. And again, let's go to classwork again one more time here. Notice that you also can go straight to your class drive folder right here or view the Google Calendar, which basically gives you a list of the assignments that are created within this Google Classroom. So notice that I have many Google Classrooms right here. So I'm going to unclick these. Those aren't the ones that I want. Miss Cooper's. And right now it's on a week view. Maybe I want the month view. So notice that right now I only have one assignment on here as a sample account. But if you had multiple assignments on here, you would see them all right here. So that's just a quick way to view it in the calendar. All right, let's take a look at the People tab here. Notice that this is where you will see your teacher's name. You may have multiple teachers here. Actually, for this particular classroom, I just have one. Sometimes we have co-teachers in classrooms. There's an email icon here, so if you need to contact your teacher and email them, you can do it directly from here. Your classmates will be found down here along with their email address as well. And let's go back to classroom, classwork. Okay, well, I hope that is a good review for you on how to access, utilize, turn in assignments to your teacher using Google Classroom.
Next video is going to instruct you on how to set up an account, either parent or student, for SchoolLoop. First, if you know how to find the Vacaville Unified School District website and you're already there, you can find the schools up in the top right corner by clicking on the drop-down and choosing the school you want to go to. Otherwise, if you aren't sure how to find your school, just start typing in the name. For instance, I'm going to look up Vacapina. All I need to type into Google is Vacapina and Vacaville. And the first thing that comes up is Vacapina Middle School. Okay, the login for each school is either going to be on the bottom of the introductory banner or on the right of the introductory banner. That's for each of our middle schools and for our high schools and our K-8 Sierra Vista school. So on each site, you're going to find it on the right, or below the banner. When you click on the login, even if you don't have an account yet, you still click on the login. If you're setting up an account, you're going to click on Register Now. You will note that you can click on Spanish and Chinese as well. I do ask that if you create an account in the Spanish language, that you don't use any special characters like an enye. That can make things difficult for those on the back end of things. So please don't use enyes when you're setting up an account. So if you're a student, you click on Student Registration. The student ID number is the S- number that you may hear about. It is your permanent ID with the district, but you do not use the S- portion when you're putting in the student ID here. You just put in the number. Usually they start with something like 723. So you put in the number twice just to make sure you didn't have a typo. You put in just the first letter of the student's first name. It does not have to be capitalized. Likewise with the last name. And then you choose in a login name. Once again, please keep the login name something appropriate, something that identifies you, and something that does not have any special characteristics in it, like enyes or exclamation points, nothing like that. And your personal email address, not your school email address, but your personal one. This is for retrieving passwords and things of that sort. And then you choose your password. And once again, you get to confirm the password just to make sure that you didn't make any mistakes. And that's registering for a student. Once you've done that, you'll get an email to your personal account detailing how to log in from there. The parent registration is very similar. You put in, however, your first name, your last name, the login. Once again, follow the same rules. Please don't use any special characters. Please don't use any enyes or anything of that sort. Your personal email address for retrieving passwords and for your activation. Phone number. The student ID, the same student ID that your student had to use. So it usually begins with 723 or something of the sort. It is the same as the S- number, but you don't put the S- and you don't put the Vacaville Unified School District at the end. And once again, first letter of the first name does not have to be capitalized. First letter of the last name does not have to be capitalized. And choose your password. Should you forget your password, when you go to log in, you simply click on Forgot Password. And here you can put in your login name or your email address, and you'll get sent an email on how to reset your password. Once you have your account, you'll be able to go in and easily email teachers and see schedules and grades once they're posted in the School Loop system. There is also an app for this for both Android and for iPhones, so you can look for those in the App Store. If you have any questions, please contact your administration. Thank you very much.